excited.
Girl, you know, this is going to be my first um, video and interview with my team. And you know that behind the scenes that this is something that I could not wait to do. So thank you for being the first to be pushed out there on the ledge.
Of course. I'm excited to be the first. I don't mind being the first. I like being the guinea pig. It helps train other guinea pigs.
Being the first. And you know what? With all of our interviews, it seems like it's always some crazy stuff with me and Zoom, but it's okay.
We'll figure it out. We'll work through it.
Errors, you know, we don't mind the errors because we learn from our mistakes. So I am so excited. Hello, everyone. I am Gigi McMillan. Let me start by saying that. And I'm the founder of Purple Runway. And this series that's called Touch Base Tuesday was something the team and I came up with because it was so important to really let either individual survivors, thrivers, and conquerors to know the people that you're going to meet one day in person, or you're going to talk to, or you're going to interact with. And then on the other hand, is to show that this operation cannot run by itself. We all think we're good, but honey, I am not that good where I can make things just happen on its own and just roll things out. And it takes amazing people who see the vision and have the heart and the support for community in order to make Purple Runway do what it do. So the first person that I am so honored to share with you is Jasmine Bull. She is an event planner, event coordinator. She was the one that made Purple Runway just look so amazingly gorgeous from the time you pulled up in Mercedes-Benz parking lot to walking through the door and feeling the amazing atmosphere and the coordination of everything. So it's been an honor for me to sit back and watch her work. Watch her do what she does so well as an event planner, as a coordinator. She knows how to make an event move from ordinary to extraordinary. So I can't wait until we get back to our agenda and really be able to push out these events, because if you don't know her right now, and this is your first introduction to her, you're gonna wanna know her just as a friend, a supporter, as a badass woman, just to be quite honest. And the amazing event coordinator extraordinaire. So Jasmine, welcome and say hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I know you guys are great. This is a challenge, but we're going to make it work. Unbelievable Events is here to, quote unquote, save the day.
Always, 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 always. So I put together, for everyone out there, I put together a series of questions for Jasmine, and to help you get to know her and to get to know the elements behind the team that she brings to this whole production and movement. So Jasmine, tell us how do you see the world? And how does the world see Jasmine as a person?
Well, I guess I could say that I kind of see the world with bright eyes and a positive expectation for obviously the unbelievable look on life. So, and I would say that the world kind of sees me as just hate to sound cliche, a beacon of sunshine, but and a bright light to kind of relieve you of your stress and kind of bring in that energy that you need when you feel like you've just lost all hope and can't figure out what to do next and how to get there or even where to start. And sometimes that takes a little bit of a smile and I got some confetti. So
Now always has some confetti and a tutu.
And a tutu. I didn't put it on today because I was like, well, I'm going to do an interview, but I was going to actually wear it. I was toggling between my tutu and my onesie. So I was like, no, I'll be good today. I won't jump up and down.
You'll be good. You'll be good. That is so awesome. And the tutu really really speaks to your personality. And one thing about when you're working as a team or you're working as a coordinator on duty, one thing that I really admired about Jasmine is she's so fun loving, but at the same time, she's a get her done type person as well. So that's the perfect balance that we need. I remember when we were planning for Purple Runway, and this is actually was her first year planning Purple Runway with us. And I remember planning for Purple Runway, and we sat down, and Jasmine was asking me all of these questions, all of these questions, all of these questions. And she took great notes, and she moved forward. And then she said, and I think maybe a month or so, or maybe 2 months passed by into our planning. And I came up with this idea. I was like, oh, I want a backdrop with, this grassy thing. Sorry, this is funny. This grassy thing. So I don't know. It was like late at night, and I was like, Jasmine, I sent her a picture. I was like, oh, I think the backdrop will look great this way. And Jasmine was like, sit down. We've already passed that planning board. It's not happening. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. So I kind of moved on, and I love people that can, because sometimes I will get ideas and I'm all over like with my ideas. And Jasmine was like, no, we've already had that X, Y, and Z. This is the direction we're going. And next.
Next step, moving on.
So, but it was a memorable moment because I was like, oh my God, that is priceless, because I will never forget that, because I will throw things out there and be like, what about this? What about that? And she can handle it. So Jasmine, tell us, as an event coordinator who led the 5th annual Breakthrough Purple Runway, how did you help bring the vision to life?
For the breakthrough, well, that was a lot of conversations back and forth and trying to figure out to make sure that the initial vision that was thought about before I even joined the team was 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 put on the pedestal that it needed to be put on. When I thought about the vision itself, I knew that the mission needed to make sure that it had the proper colors I like to use, even though it's not a great way to describe it, but colors often kind of help you discern what way you're going to go with the vision. And I think with the breakthrough vision and everything that was going on with it, it was about women, it was about men, it was about empowerment, and it was about making sure that the truth of themselves comes through. So I didn't want to take away from the message that was being said, and I wanted to create a warm environment to make that message basically explode into unbelievable mindsets and give them an experience that they would most likely and will never forget, because it's such an intimate conversation, and it creates such a broader vision for people.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And you're absolutely right. For me, I'm not an expert in what you do, obviously, but at the same time, it's for a person that has the vision of, a brand that they're working on, not just me. It really is comforting to know when someone can see and actually make come to life what is in your head. And you were able to capture that for me effortlessly. And it was the first year, and I've said this to you like at least a couple of times, but it was the first year that I was able to do what I needed to do. As far as, I never thought before this year, oh, I as the founder need to host this event, because by the time the event came, I just wanted to sit my tail down because I was exhausted. And I'm like, okay, count down, we're almost there, to another breath. I haven't breathed in 8 months or whatever, But it was a relief to be able to see that, to walk into that Mercedes Benz and to see it come together as beautifully as it has. And that's what makes you as an event planner, event coordinator, special in our eyes. So thank you for your vision. And I always tell you, you are visionary to wow. So with that in mind, and when we started talking about Purple Runway, our mission, our goals, the people that we serve, and how we want and plan to serve them and continue to serve them, why did you decide to join that mission? And how do you feel about the growth since the time you've joined up till today?
Well, I decided to join the mission. As you know, backstory. Kira, who's another team member, who's an amazing person. Actually, me and her went to high school together. And when I started my company, and I'm sure we'll kind of get to this later on, but my thought process was to create an environment of events and social events that would highlight the Prince William County area. And so I was sending her all these events, and she was kind of like, oh, I'll go, but I have like all these things to do. And I guess you had needed an event coordinator. And she goes, hey, do you also do like personal events, like corporate events and stuff like that? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So when I first met you, sitting down with you, Kira, and myself, and we were talking about it, and I could see how passionate you were about women and about children and about men and about domestic violence and about the mental health of people and about healing and the process to become a healing person. And I know how passionate I am about all of the projects and all of the events that I do. And it just made me fall in love even more with the mission itself. And I will honestly say at first I fell in love with just you. So therefore, it was easier for me to jump onto the mission and say gung ho and let's get it on and go for it. But as I delved more into the mission and more into what the ultimate goal was for the brand, for the company, for the environment, for the people, for everyone that is going to be blessed by this journey, it made me truly believe in not only the company, but it made me believe in hope and hope for people, and that there are still genuine great people. And I've always said that, but obviously with society and things like that, most people are like, oh, there's always some evil person, blah, 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 blah. But I always try to find the good in people. And sometimes that's a downfall and sometimes that's a great thing. But I always try to find the good in people. And so it made me really push back on that hope, that people are genuinely good and people really just want to see success and see healing and be stronger as a person. And I know that sometimes this company focuses on women, but we also focus on men as well. And I just honestly believe that we are building a growth of empowerment, as I keep saying, and I've said before, it is truly an empowering thing to know that you can heal from the inside with the help of a family. And many people don't have that in this particular situations that we're dealing with on a constant basis. So I think starting from the point that we started at and where we are now, we've developed a lot of things and we've grown and seen the program go from the little baby program to like multiple different programs and actually branching out into many different fields and things like that. So, and having the team that we have, I think kind of propels us into that direction, if that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it makes a lot. It's you've said that beautifully and captured the essence of what our goals have been, always been, and will continue to be. So yeah, I'm totally following you. That was beautiful. So when you started, one of the things that I remember is that when we sat at it was, I think, we were Panera Bread, and you were telling me about your business and your goals and what you were doing, and I could see the passion, as passionate as you saw how I am about what I do in my commitment to community, friendships, relationships, family, I could equally see that in you from the first moment first moments that we met. And then at that point, you were a new business owner. And I gave you a backstory. You know, we're not going to go into the backstories, but I gave you a backstory about other experiences, right? And you told me that you were a new business owner. You hadn't been in business for a year. And I was like, huh?
Yep, very much true.
I was like, okay. But you ensured me that I got this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, for whatever reason, I never doubted you and the ability at that point, even as a new business owner. Because Purple Runway, we're still new, we're babies, we're infants, you know what I mean? But yet it was like, oh my God, you know, what does that mean? You know, because it wasn't even, and you hadn't been in business for a year. So how did you hone in something that was that big, okay, as a new business owner, and take charge and execute the vision precisely?
So what many people forget or don't realize is that I've actually planned events since I was 18. So I've been planning events. I just started my branding and my company last year, 2019. And when it is true, when you become an infant in business, people kind of are like, oh, I don't know. So I think my experience doing all these other events kind of helped propel me into, yes, establishing a company, and now I can take this company to the next level. I think if I was literally fresh off the boat and kind of was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna jump into this and let's see what happens. But I think the real reason what makes me kind of move forward and truly see a vision from point A to point B and see it all the way through has to do with actually bonding and listening to my clients and listening to what they feel and how they are sensing with their events. I'm a huge believer in spiritual. I'm a huge believer in auras. So I can honestly, most times I can honestly sense if this is going to work out, if this is going to make it to the finish line that you've intended, or if it's going to be the vision on the topper scale that you thought it was going to be. So when I sit with the client, I truly want to listen and I truly want to vibe with them. I don't go into a client meeting expecting to get a deal. You should. I do subconsciously. Don't get that wrong. But I do go into the meeting with the hope that I will gain a connection. Mm-hmm. Because to me, once you gain that connection, you can see what they're seeing and completely execute it to their expectations and more. Because you're truly understanding them as a person and you're understanding what they truly wanted from this event. And then I think that just kind of builds your rapport with them and that kind of builds your rapport with other clients. You know, I think when you came to me, your main concern was, I don't want to do anything. So I said, okay, I got that check. I don't know why you were doing anything in the beginning, but okay, I got it. And then your other concern was, I wanted to be glamorous. And I was like, okay, cool. With that being said, what's honest is I thank you again because you were my first fashion show. So I've added that to my belt. And being that it was my first fashion show, most events come with the same kind of meat and potatoes. You know, as long as you're organized and you understand what the event is calling for, you can execute an event to its caliber. Now, with this fashion show, I had to do my research. I had to figure out what a fashion show entails, how much work it's going to have to complete, and what direction you wanted to go with the show, because it wasn't just a show. And I think we had to understand that, and I had to really connect with you and realize that it wasn't just a show. And if I didn't know that it wasn't just a show, I wouldn't have been able to execute your vision to your expertise, to what you've expected, and to the complete fun and exciting and glamorous style that you wanted, had I not understood way in the beginning that it wasn't just about the show, it was about the mission at hand. And some events are just about the event, and some events are not. Some events have a bigger, deeper meaning, and you have to understand that before you even try to start executing an event. And I think I pride myself on being able to make that connection with people and understand them as a person and them as a client and or company, so I can execute their event to the best of my abilities and some, give them the unbelievable experience.
Exactly. And that's what it was. For me, as an attendee at that point, really, yes, I hosted or whatever, but as an attendee at that point, that's exactly how I felt. It was unbelievable for me. It was my best one yet. I can honestly say that without hesitation, for many reasons. Number one, it was the 5th year, but for many reasons, it was the best one yet because I transformed, the event transformed, this space transformed in such a way that that it was on point with the vision all along. You know what I mean? So that was beautiful. So I have like 3 more questions for you.
Okay.
And what would you say would be the main one word that explains your drive?
My drive.
One word.
Determined. I know that's the same word, but I will say, so it's determined, and oftentimes I like to toggle between determined and empowered. So, and most people don't know the difference, but I'm very determined, but I often toggle between empowerment and being empowered in my own brand and being empowered in my own vision kind of drives me to be a better event coordinator. And empowerment doesn't have to come from people. It doesn't have to come from your family. It doesn't have to come from friends. Empowerment is really about you and how you portray yourself in the outside world and how you feel about yourself in the outside world. So I use my empowerment as my drive forward, because even if I fail, I still know I can get back up and move forward. And you have to fail. If you don't fail, then you don't know that you can make a mistake and get up and move on, or how to fix that mistake and move on from it. So I think
yes, because we be failing over here like what?
So I guess
let's get back up on this horse and do it again. Okay.
Exactly. Like, get on and write it out.
Get on this horse and do it again. So what you said is just it's really good, because it kind of leads me into this next question. And it was, you and I have traveled together. We've done large events in support of the Navy. Thank them for their service, all of our military personnel. And you coordinated the event. Camisole Media worked behind the lens for the cause that they support, right? Are you inspired by cause events? And would you say that they are a part of your growing audience?
Yes, I am completely inspired by cause events. No, don't get me wrong. I love my weddings. I love my brides. I love my grooms. I love the bridal party. I love the experience. But I love causes because you're able to really create with the cause. You're able to really connect and bond with the cause itself. And it gives you such a fire to make sure that what their mission is heard, and how it's heard. Because with the wedding, although I love them, you get one time. You get one chance to make it right. You get one chance to ensure that everybody's happy. And it's a one kind of a thing. And you often have to ensure that they're all basically the same kind of mantra. Like they're very like, this is what you do, this is how you do it, so now you can be experimental within those, but they're very, can't say one note, but they have a very specific timeline. Let's put it like that. With nonprofits and events that have causes and corporate events that have a mission, a true like fundraiser or something like that, it causes you to think outside of the ordinary box. Now with weddings you can do that too, but with nonprofits you can really truly bond with your client and bond with their mission and completely take them to a different thought process. When they're used to doing galas, you know, well, are they used to doing galas that are just award ceremonies? Like, let's add on the fact that you can do an award ceremony and a like bring in a musician or bring in a magician or bring in a fire thrower or bring in that responds to that particular theme. And case in point, I have a event coming up for a nonprofit in August, and their theme this year is igniting the fire to inspire our journey. And so their whole mission is to ignite their fellow members into being better community servers. And so what we did this year is we changed the floor plan completely. They're so accustomed to doing round tables, we changed the floor plan. When you change the floor plan, as mild as that may seem, you're igniting a different mindset because they're so used to one thing, but you've changed their mindset in that, oh, we're adding a different table setting. That's different. And then we've changed the buffet to a plated meal. You know, small things kind of make a difference. Even though it's small, it still makes a difference. And then they're actually adding
effective.
Yeah, it's the small things make a bigger difference. And I think that's what's another thing that makes me unique is I take consideration for the smallest of details to ensure that you have the biggest impact.
Right.
And they have, you know, they have actually, they're going to have a fire guy come in, but he's actually a poet. So it's the weirdest kind of, he's going to be having a poetry reading while he's throwing fire batons. And it's all about igniting yourself and being responsible for you and involving yourself more in life in general. So like just the little of things that can change something can make a difference for any event and can cause people that not normally would think about it actually want to be a part of it. Because I guarantee after Purple Runway, not that, I mean, in the past years too, but this year, I think people honestly took time to actually listen and think about the stuff that was actually happening because we took the time to tell them a story.
Every season.
Yes.
So and whether 5 years ago when I was yelling and screaming, domestic violence, everyone was like, fashion show. And that was wonderful. That's the goal of that. You know, the small things that you say ignite what your overall mission is and the small changes. And so the thing is having that same message and the same mission, it walked into its season for now people are saying, oh, you're right. This is huge. And it's
coming to fruition, like a lot of the things.
And so on and so forth. Okay, so we're down to the last two questions. And what's the difference? And I think you answered that. So it was like, what's the difference between cause events and other planned events? So you pretty much answered that. It's about the mission. It's about the goals. You feel closer to the event and all of that. So that would bring us to our final question is, what's your goal moving into your second year of operation? And how have you adjusted with the shift of the environment we are in?
Well, my goals for this year, actually, it's funny that you asked this question because I've actually rolled out a lot of different things this year. So my first year was mainly, I took it as my pouring in year. I was infused with a lot of information. I was poured into emotionally. I was poured into spiritually. I was helped guided through certain tasks. And then so this year I decided it was my execution plan phase. So I was going to take all of that information that I learned last year and implement it. And so just actually at 11 o'clock this morning, we relaunched Unbullievable Events website. So it's completely, I know, I'm so excited. So we completely redesigned it from head to toe. It's super cool. It's super interactive. It's so refreshing, and it gives you a real true insight into what Unbelievable Events does. So I encourage all of the viewers to go to Unbelievable Events Facebook page or just unbelievableevents.com. As you can see up here in my little, just spell that out and then .com. You can see the new revamp. And then we also just loaded with the transition that things are happening. It's funny that we're transitioning into this time right now and the things that are happening right now. I had already last year thought about my transition and different events I can do differently and how I can interact. And this actually propelled me to concentrate on them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I was already thinking about virtual life. I had already thought about virtual life last year, and I was like, how am I going to make this different? How am I going to create a different entity? But now, because we have been through all of this, it's kind of made me quote unquote focus on it. And we've launched 2 new events that are coming out. And at 3:00 today, we'll be launching the Eventbrite and the Facebook events. One is called the Virtual Distillery Tour. And it's one of our sponsored distilleries, Malarkey's. I love him to death. He is amazing. He's so awesome. He is actually going to walk you through just how they make, for this, it's going to be a series event, but for this one, he's going to focus on gin and his heritage whiskey. And he's going to show you how they distill it. And then he's also going to show you how to make 2 cool drinks with them. So it's really awesome. I can't wait to get that interview and that live going, because it's going to propel. And even if we don't ever come out of this into a full force, at least you'll be able to enjoy those kind of moments. And then we also have Reggie Rice coming up. Reggie Rice is a longtime partner of mine. I've actually worked with him many a times on other events before I even started my company. And so he's actually going to do some spotlighting for magic that he does. And he has a whole like special teaching session that he'll do to propel our show, our physical show that we're going to have for him. And then also a semi-virtual show that we're going to have for him. So we've got a lot planned, and we're super excited. And also working alongside Purple Runway and all the events that you guys have going on. It's so exciting. So we have a lot planned, and I'm so excited for what's to come and the things that are going to come out of all of this and that have moved forward, because we are moving in such a great direction. As many people may be afraid, don't be afraid. Take this time, and if you don't utilize it, I'll tell you what Reggie Rice told me. He's like, you don't want to be a blockbuster in this time. Don't become the blockbuster because you thought it was okay to kind of wait.
Mm-hmm.
Be the Netflix, be the Hulus of the world, be the Disneys of the world, be the what is the other company? He threw out a bunch of companies, but be the McDonald's of the world. Be the people that make a change through the craziest of times and come out on the other side being better for it. And so I had already started that journey, but now it's kind of like making me really truly focus hard on it as always. But it's cool. I like it. I'm excited. I'm so excited for the website. It looks so amazing. And I can honestly thank Monroe Marketing for that, because she's another one of our sponsors. I'm so excited for that. But she took hold of that vision that I had, and she ran full force with it and gave me everything I could ever ask for, and then did a little sprinkle on top. So she's awesome. And then I have of course, we're partnering with I Do Event Decals, because they're doing all of the some of the backdrop stuff that we're having done. So that's so cool. As you can see, it's down here. I Do Event Decals.
I see it.
It's really cool. We're gonna do an event with him soon. He's gonna kind of walk through like the different backgrounds you could have and how crazy it could look and stuff like that. So we have a lot coming up. So I just want to keep you guys, all the viewers, keep a lookout. Always check out the website. You can always check out Facebook. You can always check out Instagram, and just kind of figure out what's going on, because we're gonna keep you moving and shaking, hopefully for the next few years. Actually, no, multiple years. Let's put it like that.
That's it. So this is concluding our interview with Jasmine. And just to let you guys know that Jasmine is doing everything that she's doing. She is a full-time team member for Purple Runway. So the point is that, as we all understand, it takes community to build. It takes community to connect. It takes community to make a vision come to life. So Jasmine is available for you guys to, talk to her, engage with her, hire her for your next unbelievable event that you want to be executing after we get to go outside again. Like not outside down, but truly outside, and we feel safe and secure. So the thing is, and as she said, she has virtual events. So all of these things are something that if you're interested in, again, contact Jasmine. You mentioned Purple Runway. She's going to give you a discount off of the events that you get. And believe me, she is not expensive. However, the discount is very much welcome. So let it mention Purple Runway. And also while you're there and you're thinking about all the things that are going on in community and charitable items and everything, head to Purple Hope campaign on purplerunways.org website and donate to Purple Runway so we can continue to help survivors, thrivers, and conquerors while we stand in the gap for those who are still in the struggle. So today we welcomed Jasmine to introduce her to all of you. And we look forward to continuing to grow together. We look forward to continuing to serve you all together as well. So have a great day. Thank you, Jasmine, for all you do. And until next time, we will be on the other side.
We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to catch up on the other Touch Base Tuesdays. You don't want to miss all the other teams.
Oh, yes. Touch Base Tuesdays. We have the other team members coming up.
They're super excited to see you guys, too.
So, yeah, they're going to be excited to talk to you as well. Thanks for that reminder, Jasmine.
That's the event coordinator in me. We have a list of events to keep.
That's right. And she is keeping those lists straight for us. All right.
Thank you. Purple Tip Tuesday.
Purple Tip Tuesday.
The first Purple Tip Tuesday is this Thursday at
Purple Tip Thursday.
This Thursday, May 7th.
Okay.
11 a.m. with Mary. So I'm super excited for that. She's an amazing person. She's so sweet. So that's exciting. But
great healer.
Thanks for having me, Gigi. I'm so excited to talk to you guys. Always remember to be unbelievable and have an unbelievable day, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.